Murder victim Leslie Verde left 3 children behind. Tonight you'll hear how they spoke up to demand justice for mom at last night's protest in Kekauka. And he's accused of extortion and being a shareholder in a logging company. But tonight, Deputy Chief Forest Officer John Pinelo is back on the job. His minister explains how. Also, how much meat can the BDF eat? Tried 300,000 pounds of just chicken a year. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it probably is. And we're asking, where did all that meat go? Plus, a former public officer says that mold at her former government office made her sick. A court agreed, but 17 months later, the government still hasn't paid her damages. You'll hear her story. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Friday, July 24th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Crack.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time. They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between. Each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal, to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
You're up.
These charter mints aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Kelso,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Crack.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Rev up your engines at Puma Energy and get ready for an exciting chance to fuel, fill, and win. For every $30 purchase on fuel, a liter of lubricant, or $10 at Super 7, get a ticket to win one of 20 fuel prizes of $1,000. And here's the thrill. Fill up with premium Clean Tech Pro and double your chances of winning. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head to Puma Energy and Super 7 today for your chance to fuel, fill, and win.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, the Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. From rest to adventure. From nature to culture. From luxury to freedom. Every vacation imaginable, except snow, and we plan to keep it that way. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
These ads make some people uncomfortable, and that's okay. Imagine how uncomfortable it must be to live in a neighborhood run by gangs, dodging bullets, living in fear. The message is simple. The government must do its part. Upliftment of communities, free meals in primary schools, free education in high schools, scholarships and financial assistance, free healthcare in public facilities and national health insurance, affordable housing and meaningful employment. The police will do its part. Daily engagement with communities, protecting the vulnerable, and enforcing the law. The rest is up to you. Life isn't perfect, but the opportunities are there if you want it. School, work, productive life, family. It takes discipline, commitment, and hard work. But you can do it, and we are here to help. Remember that and choose life, because gang life is no life. A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Belize Police Department.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Kekauke residents have recently proved they are willing to protest and stand up for their community, as they did when their police station property was being put up for sale. But last night, villagers came out to protest against the justice system for, they believe, setting a guilty man free and also not dignifying the victim's family with the reasons for his acquittal. Jaleesa Roberts reports.
What we want? Justice! What we want? Justice! For who? Leslie Verde! For who? Leslie Verde!
The streets of Kekauke resounded the chants of, "We want justice for Leslie Verde," as family members, friends, and residents marched through the island, demanding answers following the acquittal of Juan Carlos Novello, who had been charged with the November 2023 murder of his common-law wife, Leslie Verde. The protest came just days after Justice Candice Nanton found Novello not guilty, with the court indicating that written reasons for the decision will be provided at a later date. We spoke with Leslie's sister, who said that they are still unsure why he was acquitted.
We want to get the written from the judge, to find out the reason, the conclusion, why she find this man not guilty. And I feel like they just did the verdict and they didn't even wait for us. And we feel down. We feel very disappointed and we want justice for her. Everything that came to the court, with the evidence that they had, they have video footage, they have the doctors, what he said that she was murdered and all those things. Everybody how they found her. The thing is that they bring all those evidence. When I heard the verdict, I believe and I know deep in my heart this man is guilty. You know, where we live is like a dead end. There's no more streets. There's no more anything. There's just one street to get to that house. And everything to me accused this man.
The emotional toll of the case was perhaps most evident in the voices of Leslie's children. With permission from the family and requests made by the children to speak, this is what they had to say.
I just want to say that we need justice for my mom, and because this was not a fair case to myself, and then I love my mom so much.
How did you feel when this happened to your mom some years ago?
I feel devastated because I wasn't there for her.
What has life been like without your mom?
Hard. I was crying for her, and that, like, I didn't have a mom to stand beside me when stuff happened and things.
I remember she was a kind, loving person, hardworking, dependent woman. It feel broken because, like, she raised me up as small, and my dad too. But it really hurt because, like, when I go to school, when I come out, like, I got no one. Like, you know, when I'm like doing good stuff, I can't go to her like I used to do. So it really hurt me so much.
Her niece, Riani Verde, who discovered Leslie's body in 2023, said the acquittal reopened emotional wounds.
I found my aunt, and it was very hard for me growing up because Leslie was like a mom to me, just like how Hayley Reyes is a mom to me. I didn't grow up with a mom, so it's very hard. And it was just so many emotions in me that I couldn't really control. It disappoints me to see this because he shouldn't have been let out. We don't deserve this as a family.
Leslie's brother, Eduardo Arceo, also criticized the justice system, saying the case should concern every Belizean. He said the family's burden has extended far beyond the courtroom as relatives have had to step up to raise his sister's children.
And I have evidence on a WhatsApp that she said she was fighting her because of jealousness, that he believed she was with somebody else on that night. And I was the person who she was with. I am the oldest brother. The justice system is failing us. As Belizeans, this can happen to you, it can happen to anybody, and we don't have justice. I feel so bad about what happened, but it's more about the kids that she left behind, and the family has to work hand in hand to keep these 3 children growing up, going to school, feeding them. It's a burden on the family, and we are bearing with it on a daily basis. Well, it affected them mentally, physically, and financially, because she was there for these kids. You know, when she she take them out, she spend time with them, she make sure they eat on time. It's nothing that can replace a mother.
Also joining the march was Keycocker chairperson Selene Villanueva Pot, who remembered Leslie as a beloved community member. She thought it would be an open and shut case.
Leslie grew up here. She went to primary school here. She was an integral part of the community. She was a well-known waitress across Keycocker. I think we thought that this would have been an easy case where we would have gotten justice, but that was not the case. We would hope that the family is given enough time to appeal. That's really what the family could be. Then the family would be able to get justice. That's what we want. We're a small, close-knit community, and I'm very happy to know that the support is still there.
As the family continues to mourn Leslie Verde's death, the message was clear. They want justice, and they want it now. Of course, that can only come through an appeal initiated by the DPP. And no decision on that has been made until the trial judge gives reasons for her decision. Jaliza Roberts, 7 News.
Justice! For who? Leslie Verde! What we want? Justice! For who? Leslie Verde!
Only the DPP can appeal a murder acquittal, so will she. We contacted her and she said, I think it's best to await the written decision of the trial judge before I comment. John Pinello had been serving as acting chief forest officer before going on leave in mid-June after being accused of bribery and extortion by businessman Cesar Godinez. 4 weeks later, he has returned to work, but he is now back in his substantive role as deputy forest officer. In recent weeks, Godinez made claims which were contradicted by Pinello, according to Minister Orlando Herbert. But what made the deputy come back? Well, we asked Landy.
Has the investigation been completed?
Practically, yes. The report that we received was reviewed by a small committee along with the chief executive officer. That investigation was based on the official report. We can't go on what was on the media. There's with no living proof. As you know, if you get something that is just by word of mouth, doesn't have as much value as if you get something that is written with a signature. So he has returned to work. He will operate as the deputy chief forest officer, and then the ministry will make the recommendation to the public service. The public service communicates with the Public Services Commission, and hopefully pretty soon we can get somebody appointed as acting chief forest officer until we get a chief forest officer.
So the position won't be given to him?
Not as yet, no.
He can apply, or is it that he's been discounted as?
No, he can apply, and the Public Services Commission will decide whether or not he qualifies for getting that position.
So that committee cleared him of any wrongdoing?
Maybe not as put it in those words. I think that there is not enough evidence provided.
And while the minister said there was not enough evidence provided and called the media reports hearsay, we showed multiple screenshots and documentary evidence which offer proof of Godinez's claim. In his letter of complaint to the Forestry Department, Godinez also says, quote, "I am in possession of evidence to support my complaints. I can be reached at my cell number." They never reached out to him. We'll take a break now. When we come back, how much meat can the BDF eat? Well, try 300,000 pounds of chicken annually. We'll show you the numbers. And a former public officer says that mold at her former government office made her sick. A court agreed, but 17 months later, the government still hasn't paid her damages. You'll hear her story.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Before our grid reached across Belize, it was built by generations of Belizeans committed to connecting communities and powering progress. Through the hands, the dedication, and the vision of our people, the grid grew with Belize. A nation built through strength and resilience, and a network built pole by pole. Today, that responsibility continues, strengthened by every hand that follows, each generation building on the last and carrying forward a shared responsibility, serving communities, powering schools, hospitals, businesses, and homes, supporting a nation that continues to grow. Belize Electricity Limited, built to serve, serving Belize.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
A BDF volunteer soldier was today sentenced to 17 years and 10 months imprisonment after he was convicted of raping a 17-year-old girl. 31-year-old Mark Nolberto reportedly hit the girl in her head with a metal cup, forced her to perform oral sex on him, then raped her while recording the act. On July 3rd, Nolberto was found guilty of 2 counts of rape. However, back in April, he was originally charged with 4 counts of rape and 1 count of attempted rape. The first count of rape was alleged to have occurred on April 5th, while the other 2 counts reportedly happened the next day. He was found guilty of the latter 2, which were linked to the recording that was found on his cell phone. The 4th count of rape and the count of attempted rape were dismissed following a no-case submission. Nolberto was represented by Orson O.J. Elrington. His departure last week, Thursday, wasn't announced, and neither was his return today, but we do know that the Prime Minister held high-level meetings in Washington yesterday. A release from the U.S. State Department says Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Londu met with Belizean Prime Minister John Briceño in Washington, D.C. They expressed mutual appreciation for the wide-ranging bilateral cooperation on key issues. In particular, Deputy Secretary Landu and Prime Minister Briceño discussed opportunities to advance our partnership through the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Compact, promoting security cooperation against narco-trafficking, counter illegal immigration, and strengthening trade and commercial ties, end quote. But what the release didn't say is that they most likely discussed the troublesome issues of the Cuban Medical Brigade in Belize. The U.S. has been and continues to exert pressure to end the program, while Belize has been resisting. Notably, according to our sources, the PM was accompanied by Leader of Government Business Amon Courtney and not Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca. It's been 17 months since one former public officer won a case against the government, but she says she still hasn't been paid. The former worker, who asked to remain anonymous, says that she developed a respiratory illness from the office she worked at after she was transferred to the Income Tax Department. Though she reached out for help, the Ministry of Public Service ignored her, and her medical bills have been extensive. Now, she's hoping that the government will finally pay her what they owe her. She came by our studio today.
I started getting sick and I went to the first doctor and they treated me. I wrote a letter because she said that I needed to be in a well-ventilated area. Public service did nothing. They didn't transfer me. I went to 2 other doctors. They wrote the same thing, another letter to public service. And then I ended up in Chetumal, and the doctor told me, he said, if you don't get out of there, he said, you can become chronic. And that did happen. I ended up going to Merida, being on oral vaccines for about two years. And then up to now, I ended up going to a lawyer, and I won my case because I couldn't continue working in the office. I got really, really sick. I almost lost my life in there. And up to now, I won my case 17 months right now and no compensation from the government. I've been to Ministry of Finance in Belmopan. They have been a turnaround. I've been to the office where I work, in the head office in Belize City, turnaround and nothing, no payment. It's been 7 years without a salary. I almost lost my house. My house came up in a newspaper for sale. And it's just been hard without a salary, and having my medication at the time cost $650. Just one of the oral vaccines was $90. They had a nasal spray that I used to use that was $115, and I couldn't get it nowhere but Chetumal. So it was, imagine without a salary and having a medical bill of over $650. Every time I go to Merida, it's $2,000 I have to take, and then the medication is not something I can buy over the counter. It's something that the doctor, he mixes, and then I have to put it on ice and bring it in with me.
Like, if you don't get your payment, will you take them back to court?
Well, I was thinking about that, but the first case took almost 5 years to go to court. So, I mean, will I have to wait another 5 years? I mean, that's, it's just too much time, Like what I could have done last year with my money, I can't do this year because everything has gone up so much,
We did reach out to the Attorney General, who said that he would familiar himself with the case and respond next week. If it weren't for a 7 News post, it's an incident that might have slipped completely onto the radar. But after we reported on Wednesday that Stoney Anson Ferguson had disrespected and assaulted Placencia police while also damaging their mobile 4 days earlier, suddenly things started to move. No less than the Minister of National Security, Julius Espat, made it known that no one was above the law and he would have to face charges. And so he has. Yesterday, Ferguson was arrested and charged for aggravated assault and insulting words. He was granted bail and awaits another court date. On Saturday, Ferguson allegedly drove off from the police, assaulting an officer and shattered a police windshield. Tonight, we continue looking at a leaked BDF tender document. Yes, we have shown you screenshots for the thousands of sub-$10,000 payment that politically connected suppliers have received. But the tender documents exposes the quite quite incredible volume of meat that was paid for to be supplied to the BDF. And the sheer volume of it, well, it does raise eyebrows. We're talking 500,000 pounds of only meat per year. Now, while the prices paid would make anyone hang their head, Jules Vasquez has been drilling down in the numbers, and here's his report.
How much meat can the BDF eat? That is the question. This leaked tender document shows that in 2023-2024, they were consuming 42,190 pounds per month, along with 16 buckets of pigtail. Now, let's say they're feeding 1,000 soldiers daily at their bases, and it's not nearly that many. Then everyone would have to be eating about 1.5 pounds of meat per day, which is excessive and way above average consumption for active people, which is maybe 6 ounces. And we also know that soldiers out in the field are eating like this: canned sausage and rice and beans. Most of the meat purchased for the BDF was whole chicken, 25,520 pounds per month. That works out to an incredible 306,240 pounds in a single year, a figure so large it boggles the mind. And the prices they are paying for those meats are also questionable. We already showed you how these baby back ribs in 2026 are still cheaper than what they were paying for them in 2023. And the same for chicken. The politically favored Kukulkan Company was selling chicken to the BDF for $3 per pound in 2023, when in 2026, after all the recent price increases, Quality Poultry is selling it wholesale for $2.68 per pound right now. Now, the difference may seem just a few cents, but when you work it out over thousands, tens of thousands of pounds, it adds up to almost $100,000 in savings that could have been realized if the Ministry of Defense was purchasing from a real supplier instead of a politically connected shell company. The price difference, if compared to today's prices, is $97,414.80, suggesting that buying the same quantity of whole chicken in 2026 would cost almost $100,000 less. In 2023, Three Star, a long-established meat and poultry business with multiple storefronts, sold chicken to the Ministry of Defense at $2.95 per pound. But they were only contracted to provide 970 pounds per month, while Kukulkan, a company co-owned by the then Minister of Defense's secretary and formally registered in 2021, they provided 24,550 pounds. And that company owns no poultry farms, is not a registered poultry producer, basically a middleman with a political connect, contracted to provide chicken, tens of thousands of pounds of it, at above market prices. In 2023, if Three Star, which quoted $2.95 per pound, which is still on the high side, had they provided the full amount, the government would have realized annual savings of $15,000. So we know from this that the Ministry of Defense was not after the best product for the best price. They were about profits for politically connected companies. The entire scheme, this enormous quantity of meats and the prices paid, raised questions about whether all this meat they paid for, did it ever even arrive at the BDF? And do the purchases accurately reflect actual consumption? Were soldiers actually receiving and eating all this meat? Or was the ministry paying for meat that never reached? Or maybe it reached and ended up in the hands of politically connected persons or even restaurant owners? Tonight there continues to be many more questions than answers.
While chicken was the meat purchased in the greatest volume, the BDF also purchased 200,000 pounds of other meat, bringing the total to about 500,000 pounds annually. That does not include breakfast meats and canned meats, which were also purchased again. That information is from the 2023-2024 tender document. We requested the tender documents for the most recent year, but were told there are national security considerations that prevents their release. We plan to challenge that. Yesterday, the Ministry of Public Utilities took another step toward modernizing the transportation sector by participating in regional discussions on the promotion of electric mobility in SICA Countries Initiative, a project funded by Taiwan. As part of the project, feasibility studies will be carried out in Belize to evaluate the implementation of electric buses and the supporting charging network. We spoke with CEO in the ministry, Dr. Leroy Almendares, and this is what he had to say about e-mobility.
Data will tell you whether or not you should go, because there is a cost to it. There's a cost to that kind of transition from what you currently utilize, diesel-generated buses or gas buses, to looking at e-mobility. And so, I believe that in terms of the information that we get, it does tell us that yes, it's feasible, it's viable. But the question is, how do you convince not only the current road users, what will be the government's continued policy, or is there a need to change the policy in terms of introduction of new legislation? There's a national bus company. But then when you look at the fact that so many of the buses that are being utilized or other vehicles are gas buses. And so to make that transition, I'm sure the big question for those users would be, well, how do I make that transition because of the cost? And my encouragement would always be, well, even that's why the banks are available, and I'm not saying that you need to go to do that. But the initial investment or the initial cost is usually the greatest cost that you need to meet. But over the long run, in terms of the cost of using an e-vehicle as opposed to a gas vehicle, the cost savings will be great, because in terms of e-mobility, in fact, one stat showed you that if you were to go from here to St. Ignace, it might take you $200 to fill a bus. Using an e-vehicle, it costs you about 50% of that or less.
On Thursday, 23 participants graduated from NEMO's Second Community Emergency Response Team training. The participants hailed from San Antonio and Santa Cruz villages and received instruction in disaster preparedness, basic first aid, fire safety, and more. Here is a snippet of last night's graduation ceremony.
It is important that you understand how information and training works. An informed community makes better decisions. A trained community executes better plans. And that is what we want to achieve here in Santa Cruz, in San Antonio, on the island of Albion. Better equipped and better trained community members. Having the information that you have, the training that you've gotten, it can save lives. And what is the slogan of NEMO? Preserving life and property. You are now a member of NEMO. You are now part of that process that the country depends on to preserve life and to preserve property.
Through this investment, the European Union has helped translate regional and national resilience priorities into practical action that directly strengthens communities in Belize. Over the past years, the BRICS program has had the privilege of supporting Belize across different aspects of its disaster management journey. This evening, we celebrate more than the successful completion of training. We celebrate an investment in community leadership, preparedness, and more importantly, community service.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, should Belizeans in the diaspora be allowed to vote? You'll hear what the Minister of Immigration thinks. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Drop it like it's hot.
The world is watching. The stakes are high. And with an Atlantic Bank credit card, your moments start online.
Bro, tickets just dropped.
I have my credit card ready. So how many tickets, guys?
I'll take two.
1, 2.
I want 3.
Go further, experience more. Make your online purchases seamless, secure, and in real time.
All right, let's buy the tickets now. What did you do, bro? I need to enter a password.
Oh, Atlantic Bank's credit card has a 3D secure feature to protect your online shopping.
Check your email.
Some transactions require an additional layer of security. 3D Secure adds an extra verification step. An OTP is sent to ensure it is you authorizing payment.
Guys, we got the tickets!
Yes! Your online transactions, made with Atlantic Bank credit cards, are fast, safe, and verified.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
You're up.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the
Northern
2023.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelsel,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with the only cook go wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Myers Panel website or social media. Myers going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where might could even change your life as they keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers website or on their social media, and Myers going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit myerselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
In an emergency, people may try to take advantage of a person at risk, including children and women. Avoid this from happening to your family members by practicing the following. Be aware of strangers offering to take your children away and promising to help you or your family. These offers are not always genuine, and a child could be at risk of violence, exploitation, or abuse. Make every effort to let your children know that they can tell you if something happens to them, and it doesn't matter who the person is, that you will listen and report it. Talk to your children and let them know that they should ask for help immediately if someone tries to touch them in an inappropriate way or make them feel uncomfortable. Report any negative behavior or conduct by anyone. By following these tips, you can ensure the safety of your family.
Belize Dara presents the 13th annual Hunger Awareness Ride.
When your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry, do something for the poor.
And it's all happening Sunday, July 26th from 6:30 a.m. Ride starts in front of Belize Civic Center. Left onto the Philip Goldson Highway. Left into the Airport Road. Left into the John Smith Road. Left into 8 Mile Roundabout for a short 10-minute break at 8 Mile Community. The ride continues on the George Price Highway into Central American Boulevard and finishes back at the Belize Civic Center. Music will be provided along the route by DJ Buju and Dirty Love Sounds.
Call me used to hungry.
Registration starts at 5 a.m., $10 for adults and $5 for kids. It's the 13th annual Hunger Awareness Ride, Sunday, July 26th, starting at 6:30 a.m.
The most I job.
Sponsors for the ride include Brothers Habat, Habet and Habat, Creme Radio and XTV, Honorable Anthony Mahler, Freedom Drugstore, Belize Tourism Board, Belize Electricity Limited, Deputy Mayor Elwood Miller, 4A Imports, Vibes Radio.
My troubles and trial, he comfort me.
In an effort to combat the growing burden of non-communicable diseases in Belize, the Ministry of Health and Wellness officially launched its Belize Moves initiative yesterday afternoon at Sir George Brown Park in Belmopan. The campaign aims to promote healthier lifestyle habits nationwide. Here are highlights from the launch.
Belize Moves is more than a program. It is a commitment to prevention, a commitment to healthier communities, and a commitment to creating opportunities for every Belizean to live a longer, healthier, and more active life. Over the years, Belize has made significant progress in improving the health of our people. Yet despite these achievements, non-communicable diseases, heart disease, diabetes, cancer and hypertension continue to place a very heavy burden on our families, communities, and our health system. As highlighted during the Belize Moves workshop this week, NCDs account for approximately 65% of all deaths in our country. Behind each statistic is a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a friend, or a neighbor whose life has been impacted by preventable illnesses. These realities remind us that health cannot begin only when someone becomes sick. Health begins long before that. It begins in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces, and in our communities. But it begins with prevention.
Today is another step in the journey which began in Jamaica in 2017, when Jamaica Moves encouraged people to include physical activity, healthy eating, and regular health checks in their daily lives. The campaign's success led CARICOM heads of government in 2018 to expand the model across the region as Caribbean Moves. Since then, several countries such as St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent have joined Jamaica in moving this effort forward. With support from the Caribbean Development Bank, CARFA was able to turn this regional vision into a framework for a socially inclusive and gender-responsive Caribbean Moves initiative. And this approach brings together different sectors, involves everyone in society, and is meant to last so each member state can create a national moves program that fits its own context, culture, and needs.
Four primary school graduates, 2 girls and 2 boys, are the newest recipients of St. John's Credit Union's High School Scholarship Program. Jo Marie Lanza attended today's awards ceremony and brings us the story.
In celebration of its 80th anniversary, St. John's Credit Union is investing in the membership and community by awarding 4 high school scholarships to primary school graduates. The CEO spoke with us today about the selection process and what the scholarship package entails.
Well, the selection process involved our scholarship committee, and what we did, we went through all the applications that we received, and we decided on those who had shown the most in terms of their overall financial need and also in terms of their academic background and what they wanted to do. Each student had to write an official essay telling us why they believe that they're deserving of the scholarship, and based on that, the committee reviewed what we received, and we chose these 4 students. Before total scholarships, we have 7 persons in the program. We have 2 that have officially graduated. So like I said, giving 4 in 1 year. Normally we would give 1. Last year we increased it to 2, and now we're at 4.
The scholarship covers full tuition and fees for all 4 years of high school, with plans to expand the initiative to tertiary students in the near future. We also spoke with the awardees, who shared how this financial support will help them pursue their academic goals.
I am really happy and really grateful for getting this award. I hope I get to make my parents, myself, and everyone proud. I like science and IT, and in the future I wanted to be a marine tour guide. I saw a lot of my family members do it, like my grandfather, my uncles, and some of my aunties. But I like to be like them because I love the ocean and marine life.
The moment that I found out that I was one of the recipients that received the scholarship, I felt excited because I know that it would help me in a way that I would not have to help me in a way that would also help my parents with my educational journey finance.
And where are you going to high school?
I'm going to Pagotay High School.
Okay. And what do you want to be when you get older?
When I get older, I want to be a vet.
When I grow up, I'm planning to become a neurosurgeon, a surgeon that deals with the brain and the spinal cord. And this scholarship will help me a lot accomplish it because the high school where I'm going, it's at STEAM Academy. The price or bill for it is kind of high, so this scholarship will help me and my parents a lot with the financial.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
Minister of Immigration Karim Musa was also one of the speakers at the opening of the Diaspora Summit yesterday. And while the Diaspora Summit talks about all kinds of engagement opportunities between those abroad and those Dayad, what about voting? Immigration Minister Karim Musa says he enthusiastically supports it.
What's your view on the criticism that participation from diasporans, Belizeans, should be limited in terms of the day-to-day governance issues of Belize because they don't live here?
No, I don't agree with that because I think that they should have a say. And I am on record as having said that when it comes to voting in our general elections and city council elections, that we need to consider a possible amendment to the law to remove that 3-month residency requirement and to make room for diaspora Belizeans to be able to come and register to vote, because that is a barrier that prevents them from registering because they can't say, I live at this address for the last 3 months. They live abroad. And so if it is that we can amend the legislation to say, hey, I live in Chicago, this is my address, here's proof of the fact that I live there, but this is my family home in Belize City, or this is my family home in Cayo, and I want to be able to register there, a simple amendment to the law can provide for that for them to be able to come home and vote during an election. And so that would then open it up, at least as an initial step, in allowing diaspora Belizeans to have a say in our elections.
A suspected case of human trafficking was reported by the Office of the Ombudsman prior to his departure. It involved 9 young Haitian girls who entered Belize in mid-2023. The children ended up living in Spanish Lookout, where most of them remain today. The now former Ombudsman Gilbert Suazo has filed a Freedom of Information Act request to Attorney General Anthony Sylvester demanding clear answers. He insists that administrative transitions and the vacant constitutional posts must not leave vulnerable children without protection or justice. We asked the Minister of Immigration about it yesterday. Musa explained how they are currently working to address it.
The former ombudsman recently put out a release about 4 Haitian girls who he felt were trafficked into Belize, and the authorities failed to act in any corrective or urgent fashion. Can you comment?
Yes, so prior to me taking up the post as Minister of Immigration, I believe it was sometime in the year 2023, it's not 4, it's actually 9 Haitian minors entered the country with 2 adult companions. They are not related to these 9 Haitian minors, but from my understanding and information, they were the foster home taking care of these girls in Haiti. They received, again, based on information provided to me, they received permission to travel out of the country, but temporary, not to be permanent. When they came into the country in 2023, they were allowed into the country based on a humanitarian consideration because of the turmoil, as you know, that has been taking place in Haiti. Since then, the Ministry of Human Development has carried out social inquiry reports. I'm told that there is a second social inquiry report that is going to be carried out to determine the best interest of the children, whether it is best for them to stay here. I don't know whether the parents are requesting the children back, but in my humble opinion, if it is that the parents in Haiti are requesting the children back, then they should be returned with their parents. But like I said, from my knowledge and information, they had received clearance to leave, but on a temporary basis. So we've been in communication with the various UN agencies as it relates to this particular case. And so we are going to be carrying out, along with the Human Development Ministry, this social inquiry report to determine the best interests and best next steps for these children.
A leader of the Mennonite community told us that the girls are living in Spanish Lookout and that several of the girls are old enough to travel and are studying in North America. In recent world news, 9 CARICOM countries have received visa waivers for Spain, but not Belize. That caused quite a stir online, since it seems to many that Belize is consistently losing out on these visa on arrival exemptions. A release issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs pushed back on that narrative, saying, quote, "The Foreign Ministry has for a number of years been actively engaged with both Spain and the EU in pursuit of a full Schengen visa waiver for Belizean nationals," end quote. So far, that effort has only made Belizeans with biometric passports eligible for multiple entry Schengen visas valid for up to 5 years. So, still no waiver. One of the speculations as to why Belize has not been added to the list for visa waivers is because of the perceived weakness of our passport. Minister of Immigration Karim Musa rejected that argument.
I've heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs speak on that particular issue, and from what I understand, that was a consideration that has been in the pipeline for quite some time. And so it's only now coming to the end of that process, the deliberations. Where we stand, I know what I can tell you in terms of the security features of our passport have improved significantly with the infrared features, the barcode, and all of that. So the strength of the passport has definitely improved in terms of security. And I'm sure that we can always do better in terms of improving the overall strength of our passport across the world.
So in terms of notability, does that add value to a country's passport?
Absolutely, the security features, absolutely.
No, the notability, as this is a country that is notable and their passport holds some sort of weight when you go to a country. Does that add some sort of
I
value?
believe, of course, our passport has a lot of value when it comes to notability. Absolutely.
Sources tell us a major obstacle to securing the Schengen waiver is that over the years, Belize has issued numerous diplomatic passports to politically connected individuals who are not official state representatives. We also asked Musa about the first transferee that was sent to Belize under the Safe Third Country Agreement and what his ministry has implemented to cater to those persons who come in as asylum seekers.
So, as you know, a few months ago, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs signed off on the third safe country with the United States of America. We have received our first asylum seeker a few weeks ago. That particular individual, I believe, is from Haiti. Our ministry plays a very critical role in the entire process. Of course, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has the lead on it, but our refugees department specifically, along with the UNHCR, are responsible for integrating those individuals into society, providing shelter for them, providing food for them, helping them to get on their feet with the different processes and integrating into our Belizean society. And so our refugees department plays a very critical role in the entire process.
Rastafarian community is set to gather tomorrow for the 134th Earth Strong Night celebration honoring their God figure Haile Selassie. The event is set to begin at 6 p.m. at the BTL Park, and today we spoke to two of the organizers.
This year we're going to host Haile Selassie 134th Earth Strong. A celebration we will do annually in at BTL Park this year, Digi Park, with a host of artists. This is we peculiar. This is our peculiar people, and this is our heritage. This is our birthright to celebrate and glorify our elders and our divine leaders. This King Selassie is the high primacy of the leadership in a black consciousness. This is Emperor Haile Selassie I, and also his birth signifies a lot to us as people if we were to be more aware. You know, so he's part of prophecy, and it is just fit and right to celebrate Haile Selassie. Well, this is a free event, so all are welcome. You know, come with a good behavior, good manners, and ready for have a good time. You know, one spiritual movement same way too. So call everybody for come out, hold our reverence.
It's not just about party and birthday, and it's about the teachings and the principles that we're supposed to accomplish to better our standard out of poverty, the anger problem, the killing, the wars, and agriculture is one of them that can really take us out of that. There's a lot of land in Belize. The government of Belize should be providing us the tools, the tractors, the whatever, all the necessary things for us to go do agriculture on a wide base so we could be an exporting country. So Rastafari is a part of representing that. We as farmers, artists, musicians, we want to use our talent, what Rastafari has taught us, to develop this country and develop the communities of where they go through the problem.
And that's all we have for you on our newscast tonight. We close with highlights of the Garifuna Collective's opening night of their European tour at the Jazz Cafe in London. Do enjoy. Join me back here at the same time on Monday. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.